Hi there, Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com. I thought we'd talk a little bit of just a little Tai Chi philosophy today. And this is a simple idea that sometimes gets overlooked. And this is not necessarily the truth. This is a way of looking at things that I find very, very helpful and very beneficial in my life. And it's pretty simple. Think of the yin and yang sign. The yin and yang symbol, the Tai Chi symbol, the black and white yin-yang circle, is a symbol of unforced balance. It's a symbol of dynamic interaction between polar opposites. But it's also sort of a resolution of them in the sense that no one's winning and no one's beating anybody in that circle. They're exactly equal. The yang has the seat of the yin has the seat of the yang. So think of applying this resolution of polar opposites, this dynamic interaction, as a model for all kinds of things. Like, try this on for size. Yin is just as important as yang. Yang is just as important as yin. So softness is as important as firmness. Masculinity is as important as femininity. Being solid and structured is as important as being mobile and yielding. Just as important, not less important at all. There's no winner in that conflict. Being civilized and being cultivated and being a human, modern, civilized person is just as important as being wild and honoring the animal body and the life of your body as an animal. That's just as important as being civilized. Competition and being competitive and trying to do the best you can, even to best another person who is also doing the thing that you're doing. That competitive urge, it's just as important and it's just as powerful as being cooperative. Cooperation and competition are equally valuable. Equally valuable because we all do it. It's in our collective DNA. All humans all around the world are cooperative, and all humans all around the world are also competitive. So that means it's hardwired, and anything hardwired has health value, has survival value, and is important as long as it's in balance with the opposite thing, right? It's when you're nothing but competitive or nothing but cooperative that you end up with trouble. This is according to the Tai Chi philosophy, and it is consistent with my experience and my own philosophy. People will value, for instance, striking. It's very, very important. You want to be a striker, or they'll value grappling, or they'll value footwork, or they'll value not being able to be moved, being very, very solid, grounded. But being grounded is just as important as being mobile. Being able to wrestle a little bit is just as important as being able to strike a little bit. The opposites are always just as important. It's just as important to have the interests of the individual versus the interests of the collective. They're both important. The red and the blue, the conservative and the progressive. They're equally important. They're needed to temper each other. Part of the problem with politics, as I see it in this country, is that both sides think that they are absolutely right and the other side is evil and needs to be vanquished. So everyone from dog catcher to president should be blue. Everyone from dog catcher to president should be red. Every office should be my way, my view, my thing. I know what the truth is. Everybody should feel that way. When in reality, at least I shouldn't say reality, in my opinion, in my experience, on any given issue, it doesn't matter what it is, healthcare, education, military, defense, spending, everything, there is the interest of the individual and there is the interest of the collective. And at any given moment in time, the needle about where that should be is different right? Sometimes the needle needs to be on the side of the rights of the individual. Sometimes the needle needs to be on the side of the rights of the collective. They are equally important. And we can adjust and we can talk and we can dial in where at this issue, at this time, that needle needs to be. If we hold that above our differences, we are Americans, right? We are, in a sense, one. And we have this dialogue going on about where we should approach this or that problem at this or that time. Much more productive to me, much more healthy, much more human, much more warm and connected and positive than the other side is evil, they need to be eliminated. And every post from the ground up should be my color, my thing, what I do. So there has to be a balance. And you know, they say nature abhors a vacuum, but nature also seems to abhor a lack of balance. So you can call it karma, you can call it balance, you can call it whatever, but what goes around comes around. And what you bite, bites you. What you do to the planet, you do to yourself. What you do to somebody else, you do to yourself. You kill somebody, you killed something in you. You beat someone up, you beat something in you. So if you see it that way, this yin-yang symbol starts to become a kind of a reminder and a guide that things are not black or white. They are black and white. And the problems come when we separate one from the other and go to extremes without the tempering, balancing effect of the other. So it takes a certain skill to live this way. It takes a certain capacity. You have to be willing to live in the dynamic tension of uncertainty. You don't know exactly where that dial is going to go in the next minute. You're holding a dynamic tension between these polar opposites in yourself and in the world, and it's constantly a work in progress. Just like balance is. You stop making corrections, you start falling over. You have to keep making corrections. It's a dynamic process. It's not a thing you put in a bottle and say, I got it. And if we all held politics, and if we all held all of our differences and all of the polar opposites in our life, in that way, I think the world would be a better place, because we're pushing the pendulum all the time. We're pushing it over this way, and then we relax and it goes this way, and we push it that way. And you even try to hold it in the middle. If you try to hold it with force, it won't hold there either. It'll keep swinging. So you want to try to relax and live in that dynamic tension. It's not comfortable. It doesn't give you the comfort of certainty and just I'm right and everybody else is wrong, but it keeps you open, it keeps you alive, it keeps you talking, it keeps you in dialogue, it keeps you in community, it keeps you grounded, it also keeps you mobile. So you have some Tai Chi, living Tai Chi. That's what that's about. So that's my recommendation, that's the way I live. That's the way I try to live. That's what I'm always after. I'm seeking that balance. And I never have it. I'm always after it and I never catch it. But being after it, I'm closer to it, and I hover near it, and I benefit from being near balance, even if I'm not perfectly balanced. Balance is a verb, not a noun. So, that's my pitch. I hope you find this useful. That's why I make these videos. I don't make a lot of money from my videos. I just put them out there and to try to be helpful, and let me know anytime that you feel moved to let me know that something I've done is helpful. It always feels good. I also have PayPal links on my YouTube videos, and I'm all over my website, GeneBurnett.com. Donations are always great, but I really appreciate comments too. I really like to hear that anything I'm doing is useful, because that's what I'm up to here. So thanks for watching, appreciate it, and best of luck to you in your training.